a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed. Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us. Come on and walk to God.
To all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy!
There we are. We've got to make sure the wee doggies get in there.
In there. Yeah. Let me make one adjustment. And there we go. Wee doggies! That's from Sida.
It happens.
Arizona, do you want to give us a vocal wee doggies? No? Oh, she did it. Okay, there she goes.
Glad you're here.
Wee doggies!
There you go.
It's important. These traditions matter. Don't they matter? That's why we have a theme song, right?
Yes, they do matter.
There you go.
So, because there's Sundays are about traditions, right? If you grew up in a family like ours, what we spent the entire day at church. Did you spend the entire day at church?
Well, we
when
do
you
it
were
now.
growing up. Oh, I did.
We do it now.
And now that's just that just feels traditional to me.
Yeah. It's a part of our normal lives. So we love Sundays here, and wow, it's just been so much fun today listening to everybody and sharing with everybody.
Couple hours,
couple hours on Wednesdays
hours.
and Sundays, yeah, for sure. So it's just been a lot of fun. We were the last program before we took a break was with Anne. And we were playing the game this week. I forget what it was called, but
observation or
labeling. It was about labeling.
Label.
And we're catching our labels, how we label the world.
Drop the labels. We've been instructed. It's drop the labels. That's the game.
Drop the labels. And then so she said, let's do round 2. And the first thing that came to the label I put, the first thing I said was, no, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Because my feeling was I'm not good at it. Now, isn't that funny? Because,
I'm not good at putting labels of things?
Well, I'm just not good at playing spiritual. I mean, what my thought about myself was at that moment was just, I'm not good at being spiritual. Isn't that
not good is a label.
Not good is a label, yeah.
There you go. You
Exactly.
You keep backing this up, right?
Yeah.
Keep backing it up.
It's just cool, the things that, we discover as we move along.
That we're trying to normalize. Trying to make traditional. right? Trying to make like the way it is, and it's like it becomes unconscious or more conscious or like less conscious about trying to create. Hey Connie, what I've realized is that I don't really have to manage the moment, you know. Yeah. That I realized that I was really trying to like effort like the whole thing into being, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Arizona says I had the car dealership take their label off my car when I bought it.
Yeah,
we actually did that too.
We did too. I took all the labels off of our car. All the labels off of our car. I don't drive labels with anybody.
That's so great.
I don't drive a car with labels on it.
Well, let's welcome Connie
and
Rhoda, and we're so glad y'all are here.
So what we have, we're just past the 100-day mark. Right
on the workbook lessons.
On the workbook lesson. So we've just started a review. So I'm excited about getting to the review. What's the sing along today?
We are gonna do peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Joy. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Back to the top with peace. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Yay.
Oh, I know.
Thank you. Don't you love that song?
I know. You can almost smell the church basement, can't you? You just, did you a little whiff of church basement there?
Oh, that's I did. Child brought you back to your childhood, didn't it?
My childhood.
Exactly.
Certainly. Soothing.
Yeah, very
Thank
soothing.
Speaking of soothing, do the lessons soothe you? Do you find lessons soothing?
They do. For me, they do.
They might not, you know. I can see where they might not be soothing. But today, I'd like to go back a little bit to like this just before the review. It reviews at 110. That's where the review. That's where the last section ends, and so and so what we're going to do is recap what we've been learned so far. That's what reviews do, right? And so the culmination of where we are in the text is the last lesson you leave on before the review. So that's the culmination, and then we're going to go over it so it's reinforced, and she can put some groups of six together and see, we can see a pattern develop, which is very cool because we want this to be a conscious process, right? We're consciously. I used to say, Yolanda was saying, "Oh, thank you, that was so nice." I said I did it on purpose. I did it. I want you to, I did that. I worked all day on this, so that I want you to really have this. This is really important. I want you to have that. I did it all on purpose. I'm really working hard at trying to, gain your affection.
Aww, that's sweet.
That kind of
you gained it. You did it.
Well, that kind of conscious way of being. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So we wanted to say where we are in the lesson. So 1:10.
Yeah, it is, I am as God created me.
That's where she wants you to end up with now, and this is the idea she wants to reinforce. Like, I am as God created me. So wouldn't that be an interesting prospect?
Yeah.
How would you like to just have what God put there, not what we want there or think is there? What if we had or recognized just what was real, and that's what our opening song says, usher in a world that is unseen and unheard. So what is real? So that's what she wants to leave us with. So let's see how she does it in the reviews. So I am as God created me.
I am as God created.
And it's about suffering versus how we identify. Identification with form in any way leads to suffering.
Truly.
So let's look at the reviews where we are.
So the next lesson starts the review. It's review number 3,
right.
And this is lesson 111 for morning and evening review. Miracles are seen in the light. I cannot see in darkness. Let the light of holiness and truth light up my mind, and let me see the innocence within. And then the second review is miracles are seen in the light, and light and strength are one. See through strength, the gift of God to me. My weakness is the dark his gift dispels by giving me his strength to take its place. That's a great bedtime story right there.
I know, it sounds like fairy tale language, right? That's ARC, because that's where we learn these lessons. The course is written this way on purpose.
Yeah.
It's written this way on purpose.
So
every hour, this is what you're supposed to say every hour. And just something you need to say every half hour. So this is seriously like drilled. This is foundational stuff. Miracles are seen in the light. Miracles are seen in the light because those strength and truth are one. Miracles are seen in the light. Miracles are seen in the light.
Miracles are seen in the light. Okay, and then the next review, lesson 112, is light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God.
Are you?
Because I am a part of him.
I know. So how do we act? So it's like, if I am doing this, there's fruit of it. There is a way of being in it, and it's something, a state or a feeling tone or something I could recognize, right? Light and joy and peace abide in me. I can surely act like it. She's talking about a home I share with God. So why would she say, so keep going.
Yeah, light and joy and peace abide in me. And then the next one is, I am as God created me, which we just reviewed, which is really funny because she repeats this several times throughout the workbook. And I love that she does. I even have a song for both of these. I am as God created me. I am a light in this world. I am as God created me. I am. It really helps. It really helps during the day. Yeah, it does. Okay, and then... Or is this where we are today?
This is where we are.
Okay, this is where we are today. Lesson 113. I am one self united with my Creator. Serenity and perfect peace are mine because I am one self, completely whole, at one with all creation and with God. And then...
This is the lesson. This is exactly what we're... That's why I wanted to go over this review, because she's building on this idea. It leads somewhere. It's like if you get on a train, you get on a train because it's going somewhere.
And so the second thought for this day is salvation comes from my one self.
Oh.
From my one capital S self, whose knowledge still remains within my mind. I see God's perfect plan for my salvation perfectly fulfilled.
So we're still talking about the thing that needs to be saved, right? We haven't transitioned yet into wholeness, because she's saying this person who still needs to be saved doesn't think there's a wholeness. There's salvation. Wholeness is the salvation, the realization that I am as God created me, is the one true self. How do you get there? How do you move into that space? As we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, I actually love it. You know, the awareness of being aware of awareness meditation has really helped me with that, because I'm able to, a lot of times, and we did this with each other recently, like we were about to, move into in a place where
Drift into separateness.
Yeah, separateness. You're right. We were about to have a conversation that put us into separateness, and then we were able to just stop and be aware that those were thoughts that weren't true, and we let them go.
Is that really happening now?
Is
that happening now?
And who is,
who needs it to change?
Who needs anything to change?
Be on to yourself of that. Who's trying to make it different? Who are you trying to make comfortable? That's what it was like. Oh my.
Oh, I just love that, to be able to pause and question whatever it is. Who's saying this? Where's this coming from? What is this?
Who's this using my voice in my head?
It's a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought. All right.
So today is I am one self, united with my Creator. Salvation comes from my one self. My one self. So it's getting in touch with and understanding what that is. This one self. It's our inheritance. So why don't you lead us into getting set for the place and the conditions. The conditions of peace. Right.
Yeah. So today Glenn's going to give a message from chapter 11 in A Course in Miracles, God of the Ego, section 5, the inheritance of God's Son.
It might be section 4. I work from a PDF that sometimes moves these sections around because it counts the introduction or doesn't count the introduction depending on what version you have.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The inheritance of God's Son is the section.
Yeah. So we're going to go into that, but first we're going to do our Circle of Love meditation and play a song for you called God Has Condemned Me Not. So here we go. With each breath, we have peace like a river. With each breath, we have joy like a fountain. And with each breath, we remember that we have love like an ocean in our soul. We are whole and complete, and we stand together in this circle of unconditional love that we co-create every time we come into this room. And this unconditional circle of love welcomes everything in our lives, everyone in our lives, every situation, whether we like it or not. We learn from it all. We bless it all. And we know that God has condemned me not. Blessed be. And so it is. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. No more do I. No more do I. I was mistaken. I did not realize the source from which I came. My holiness remains. My holiness remains. All the mistakes I made are simply illusions. I let them go today and receive God's word. I trust in God's word. Love which created me is what I am. I seek no more today. Love has prevailed. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. No more do I. No more do I. No more do I. There we go. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Hi, Jacqueline. It's so
Yay.
nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yeah, that's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's funny with the. I always remember that one of that. That's one of those songs that everybody thinks that they've heard before.
Well, Jacqueline has a question in the chat. How come we never see Doreen anymore? And I know I miss her so much. She is still in Seattle helping her mother transition. Well, I mean, not her mother transitioning, but her mother's husband has been transitioning.
Very sick and died.
And
so she's
then
taking care of her mother.
Taking care of her mother now, and actually they're moving and doing a whole bunch of stuff. So it's just been really hard to connect with her, and I've been wanting to have her as a guest on Sounds of Awakening. So hopefully
she has an amazing story.
Well, she does.
She really does.
Oh,
she
thank
really
you,
does.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
I will give her your best. She's an incredible person, and probably my most favorite singing partner that I've ever had.
And a dear family friend.
Dear family friend, yes.
You know, as you're supposed to say, right?
She is.
A dear family friend. You know,
Indeed, she is.
not kidding.
Yeah. So let's do that. I think for something.
Okay, let's do this. Look,
Yeah.
every week, I put together a booklet that I send out, and it's highlighted and annotated with my thoughts to try to get quickly to. Hey George, hey Jack, glad you're here.
Yeah.
Try to quickly get to the principle that she's trying to illuminate for us, right, in the Course in Miracles, and the lessons track with the text, and we do this every year, and it's a wonderful way to reconnect with how deep the truth goes, right? You think you read some, like, go read Old Yeller again. Right, I guarantee you will have a different reaction as a 50-year-old than you did when you were 14. Read it for the first time, and you couldn't sleep for 2 weeks because you cried so much. You know, I guarantee you'll have. So what? Revisiting what we do is we can see, and you know this. You see things from a different perspective when you revisit things again and again. We're doing it with Regina's Teaches, and we're just about to reboot the show that's been going on for like a thing. We're going to start all over again because it's good to revisit and to go back over and over the same things, because that's how deep the truth is. That's how deep this moment is. That's kind of the method that we use. So I put out this booklet, and I give you a pic. There's a cover. There's usually about 6 or 7 pages, and there's a cover. So I'm going to show you what today's picture is.
Yeah.
Just
you
that,
don't
right?
have to share sound either.
Oh, I don't.
Click that
Don't.
off. Yeah.
There we go.
You just.
Portion of screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
There
Just a
we
portion.
go.
No, I don't need a portion of screen. I should have done that. Here. So this is a picture of an altar. We're going to talk about altars today. Not.
No, just go back to basic. There you go.
Just do
There
that.
you go.
See if this works.
There
Okay.
you
This is the
go.
picture.
Okay, screw
This
that.
is the picture.
There you
Does
go.
anybody recognize that? It's an altar for like the Day of the Dead, like a Day of the Dead altar.
So
Because you just
beautiful.
put the memories, you put your family, you put everybody that's passed on, you know, and often people that you care about, and their gifts and momentums. You see the food, the food and the pictures of relatives here, you know. So it's that idea of us, the representation of an us as an altar. We're the altar. You know, we're you can put anything becomes an altar. It becomes an altar by the things that are placed on it and the reverence that it has, not the thing that it's made out of, right? Things become an altar because of how they're used and how they're seen, right? So you can have. That's why they decommission churches. Did you know that?
No.
Like they de-altar a church. Did you know that you can like have a church de-sanctified?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Learn something new every day. So
Jacqueline
in this,
laughing
I know,
at that one.
I know. We do that to every apartment we go in. We go and have it de-sanctified.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Why is
kidding.
it?
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
understand what you're talking about.
This is chapter. Because everywhere is holy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Everything is holy now.
Everything is
Okay.
holy. So this chapter is God or the ego, and it follows after it. It comes on the heels of meeting our body and meeting the mighty companions. So this is the beginning of her real discussion of us as one thing. To try to get it through our monkey brains or our social conditioning that we're actually one thing, not this collection of separate beings. This is the beginning work on that. We meet our mighty companions, and this is about this chapter. God or the ego is like, what thought system, what world do you want to be a part of? And we're going to be working. You're going to work together as one in whatever thought system you're going to be participating in. Right? You're going to be working with the thought system of the world, building illusion and suffering for yourself and others, or you're going to use the energy to build and to participate in what is true. And it's satisfying and joyful. So that you're going to create, and the only way to create is in oneness. So that's why she talks about salvation. If you really are interested in creation, because that is actually the only thing that's really satisfying to us, to join and participate with what is. In the Course of Miracles, she calls that creation, and the only thing that's being created is this moment now forever, and we're co-creators in it. So how do we be honest about the feeling tone or the experience we want to have is as a creator, but the way to do that is through joining with all that is. So what stops us from joining all that is? Well, I don't think you're any fun. That's what's stopping me from creating at my full potential, because I don't think you're any fun. You know?
Thinking is the optimal word with that statement. Think.
Yeah, like we say, that's doing a lot of work. That word thinking is doing a lot of work, right? Because it's the car that's going off the road, like just leaving the planet, right? So this is where we are: God or the ego? God or the ego? So the question we're always going to be asking. So this is what I share all the time with the class that I'm doing. So this is what we've got. And read this bit for us.
I am. So, just in case you guys would like a copy of this, that we do on a weekly
like and
basis.
Subscribe. Get on the email list.
Well, I'm just saying that just in case anybody wants to, have these booklets, because he does them every week, and they're really lovely. And if you're interested in what we're doing in our class, just let me know. Send me an email, Yolanda@yolanda.net, and we'll send it.
I'd love to include you.
Yeah. So here's what we do, and we're going to start here at paragraph 1. Never forget that the sonship is your salvation, for the sonship is yourself. Yourself does not need salvation. But your mind needs to learn what salvation is. You are not saved from anything, but you are saved for glory. Yay! And by the way, Gloryland is what we name our property in Vermont. Glory is your inheritance given you by your Creator that you might extend it.
That's why we called it Gloryland, because we got it for inheritance.
Yes. Yet, if you hate part of yourself, all your understanding is lost. Could you try to make God homeless and know that you are at home? God's laws hold only for your protection, and they never hold in vain. Therefore, look only to the power that God gave to save you, remembering that God's will is yours because it is His. And join with your brothers in this peace. Which is why I was like, peace like a river. Okay.
So this is fun. So this is the sonship is the salvation. It's under our noses all the time. It's the love we have for each other and relationships, and the joy of like seeing. That's it. See it. That's it. The sonship is your salvation. The sonship is the self, capital S. Is the self. It is God's creation. So it's real. Everything there is real, and it's reliable. And she describes this tone, this way of understanding it, as a feeling of belonging. Belonging. A feeling of belonging. And there's wholeness as the sonship. So could you track this belonging feeling on the whole thing, belonging to the world, what is living, right? Belonging to the truth. belonging in this, that's really sounds super powerful to me. And she calls this the act of salvation, moving from that one state to the next. She goes, that's salvation. But don't be mistaken, you're saved from nothing, right? Because the thought system, the suffering and everything is nothing, right? Because it doesn't exist, and we're mad at a thought in our head.
Right.
Right? And she goes, you're saved for glory. You're saved for glory. That's what we're turning down when we're getting mad at ourselves and other people and everything. Looking out into the world, trying to manage the world. And she goes, you're saved for glory. Now, the Course of Miracles, of the way she's going to use this saved for glory as a starting point, as the jumping off point about talking about the altar, the first picture we showed you. This glory, connecting glory and altar, collecting belonging with wholeness and sonship, connecting salvation with your joining. See what she's doing? And you're saved for glory, which is reality, which is the joy, what I call the joy of universal presence. And she calls this your inheritance. Of course it is. Whoever made you you can't make you in anything other than the image. Made you other than something that they are, right? God made you, then God made you God.
Right.
It's not possible to do anything else. Glory is your inheritance, our inheritance. And we're like going, no, not me. I couldn't possibly. I'd rather, be mad at myself or somebody. That's what I do a lot. I choose being mad or losing my mind over something different, offering us something different, the joining that we're so afraid of that we shouldn't be. And the warning here is hate cuts off knowledge. Isn't that a good caveat? And it goes, and she calls that denying the wholeness in another being. Denying somebody else gets to be in God with you, like us gatekeeping God, like everybody except you, or except this.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's share the next spot. Let's see. We
Yeah,
got a couple
okay.
of
Yeah.
Hold on. We got a couple of comments in the thing.
Highly recommend Glenn's weekly. Thank you,
Arizona.
I'll that's the blurb on the back of the book.
That was cute.
Let's show you this. This is the next bit I want to share with you.
Okay. Your peace lies in the sonship's limitlessness. Limit the peace you share, and yourself must be unknown to you. Every altar to God is part of you, because the light he created is one with him. Would you cut off a brother from the light that is yours? You would not do so if you realized that you can darken only your own mind. That's the realization there. As you bring him back, so will you return. Giving and receiving. That is the law of God for the protection of the wholeness of his Son.
So I had a really good time with this because it just, this sounded to me like a prayer. Like something that you would take out of Psalms or hymns or Solomon or something like that. It just sounded like, so this is, think about this, Edit. You could say to your brother, you could say out loud as you're doing this. You could say, my peace, when you're upset or you could try this on. I won't characterize it for you. My peace lies in our limitlessness. Limit the peace I share, and myself becomes unknown to me. Every altar of God is part of me because the light God created is one. I would not cut off a brother from the light that is ours. I would not darken my own mind. As I bring my brother back, so will I return. That is the law of God for the protection of the wholeness of his children. Sounds like it should be written on a plaque or something, doesn't it?
That's beautiful.
That's
That's
sung some way, like it's a psalm.
That's
in some
beautiful. I may work on that. This is Glen's version of this highlighted piece right here, which I truly love. My peace lies in our limitlessness. Wow. Wow, that is really cool.
Yes, read this next part.
Okay, so we're going on. Only you can deprive yourself of anything.
That's a good. That's what I call the bumper sticker moment. That's like the bumper sticker from this lesson.
Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. The beginning phases. Oh, this is a crucial step in the reawakening, right? The beginning phases of this reversal are often quite painful, right? Which we actually have been experiencing.
You may have as well.
So you may have too. I don't know, but we're moving into a deeper phase.
We're talking about cleansing and purifying.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The beginning phases of this reversal are often quite painful. For as the blame is withdrawn from without, there is a strong tendency to harbor it within. It is difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there is no distinction between within and without. Ah! Oh my goodness. And you cannot blame yourself without blaming them. That is why blame must be undone, not seen anywhere elsewhere.
Oh no.
Lay it to yourself, and you cannot know yourself.
Mm-hmm. Blame.
Blame, yeah. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack his son.
Yeah, that's bold. That's bold in the text.
Yet the Creator cannot be praised without his son, for their glory is shared, and they are glorified together.
Okay. She calls this the big reversal. Right? The big reversal. Well, of course it is. Suddenly, we're not blaming the world or blaming mom and dad or, the political system. Withdrawing blame, and she says that's just depriving yourself of joy. Blaming other people, that's just the way you deprive yourself of joy. So the task becomes how to recognize how we blame other people's and blame ourselves for the way things are. That's not the approach. We need to catch ourselves in doing that. Like the labels game, drop it. Let it go. Where does it lead? And he goes, the task is that we're learning learning that deep awareness of the moment, and we heal at the speed of our own joining, which makes us really, really, really super powerful people. I would say, you heal at the speed you're able to heal. You're able to go as fast or comfortable as you can manage. That's the fast. That's how fast, how fast we can, how much of the discomfort maybe we can manage. I don't know. The reward is we get to know ourselves, which is reality. Doesn't that sound compelling? Isn't that might be worth doing? to engage maybe in the experiment of the big reversal. Nobody did anything wrong, The promise is that you will know yourself. So you'll know of your togetherness, of our joy. And she reminds us again that that this moment is without attack. There's no way to get deep in this moment and have attack. There's just no way to do it. I know we want to jump in and out. So the reminder here is that glory is as shared as oneness. So we're always engaging with others, and we're always doing for and with as in us.
Could you say that again just a little?
Everything we create is always everything we can create is real. So everything that is created real was created by what is whole.
Right.
So we must have, and I think needs an appropriate way of understanding, we must need others for it to have our own wholeness to create.
Yeah.
And we can see ourselves and our glory and our being and our joy in what is living and being and what is true in the world. Because we recognize it. We recognize it in others. We watch movies and everything like that. We don't have to learn every new person's facial expressions because we all understand.
So this glory is shared.
This glory is shared. That means that there aren't levels of glory either, like levels of beauty or levels. There isn't that isn't there either. So keep going.
I love this. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move this out a little bit. There we go. Christ is at God's altar waiting to welcome his son. But come wholly without condemnation, for otherwise you will believe that the door is barred and you cannot enter. You can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door that Christ holds open. Come unto me who hold it open for you. For while I live, it cannot be shut, and I live forever. God is my life and yours, and nothing is denied by God to his son.
Did you catch that? So this is our task. Now, Christ is the role that, like, is what is ours to do. In the cosmology of A Course in Miracles, the way the Course in Miracles teaches these things in this is non-dualism, is you're the Christ because you have a role to play. You have a function to fill. That function will be the acceptance of the atonement, always, or like in the path of the steps of awakening, is to teach peace, right? So she says, your role as Christ will be just like my role in Christ, to hold the door open for others to be deeply present, to see reality, right? Maybe it's a window. I don't know. Can you hold the window open for fresh air for the world? Maybe, you know? My mother would say, close the door. So that's what our presence is. That's what this glory she's talking about, our identifying with the oneness. This glory becomes a present being, becomes a present knowing that is shared with the world. And you can't make anybody join you, right? You can't hurl it, drag anybody into the light, right? You'd love to. I know some people I'd like to drag into the light. But you can't drag people into the light. You have to be the light and let that be an attractive force that changes the world and helps people make a better decision, to be that presence of peace, right? That's what she's talking about, holding the door open, not making anybody go through it. Your job is the same as Christ's, to hold the door open to what is real. Is that interesting?
Yeah.
That's why I use this altar. We're all on this altar. And this altar is this deep present moment where everything holy exists. And we give everything to this moment. We live only for this. This is interesting enough. This moment is interesting enough because you're here. Because there is awareness. How deep does this thing go? I don't know. So read the next bit.
At God's altar, Christ waits for the restoration of himself
in you.
Christ waits for your acceptance of him as yourself and of his wholeness as yours.
Wow.
Christ is the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, as perfect as his creator and at peace with him.
You can see I got a little ahead. Christ as the Bodhisattva. Christ is what everything that we'll do. Christ as what is ours to do. The anointed. Christ is the anointed. What have you, been anointed to do? Teach peace. Accept the atonement for yourself so you can get out of your way and God can work through you and be a cooperative component in this whole togetherness thing. This whole belongingness that we're a part of. We are. An expression of. So the Christ is what is ours to do. So we plug in at the altar. We plug in to this present oneness. And so the living question is, what is mine to do? That is Christ consciousness. To be living into that, like Connie says, put it in, what column am I in?
Column A or column B?
Like, what are we doing? What are you doing? What are you? Where are you headed? What roads? Where's this road go? Right?
Yeah.
Be honest about where's this road go. And if we're barring people from let's say you're evil. I don't know. It's like excluding people from God. What's that?
How do you even do that?
What's that?
Yeah.
Exclude. Everybody gets into heaven except her. You see what? My God, she's got such bad taste.
It's funny. Yeah, it's truly, truly funny. I was being harassed on the street one time, and this is just a funny tale, and my response to the person was, God bless you, God bless you. And that person responded, which God are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're the evil person. You're the evil. You must be with the evil God. And I was like, God bless you. And just walked away. It was really odd, that you can do that. You can put all these little
I don't accept it. So it's like, just like, what are you, so this is the last bit, and I have something I want to read to you. Living, how do we do this living? God of the ego, right? How do we live into this Christ consciousness, this Christ awareness, this way of looking and not excluding, maybe liking or not liking? She didn't say you had to like everything. She said we cannot do this blaming other things, and we cannot blame other people, other places, or other things for our happiness or the way things should have gone. Right? Even ourselves. So read this last bit.
Blessed is the Son of God, whose radiance is of his Father, and whose glory he wills to share as his Father shares it with him. There is no condemnation in the Son, for there is no condemnation in the Father. Sharing the perfect love of the Father, the Son must share what belongs to him, for otherwise he will not know the Father or the Son. Peace be unto you who rest in God, and in whom the whole sonship rests.
It's all about radiance and glory. The request is just don't blame, no blame and no condemnation. And the method, as we all well know, is to rest in God. Look, so you can see. That's method. Rest, so you can see correctly, and then make a good decision. Because you're the Christ. There's things you're supposed to be doing. Going to Galilee, gathering your friends, buying sandals. I have no idea. So this is what I wrote. This is what I'd like us to walk away with. We've been indoctrinated to believe that we're doing everything ourselves, and it's never been true. No matter how micro or macro we examine our lives, we are intricately tied to all living beings. The universal presence of joy is the here and now. We find that joy in all beings that share our very intimate presence. Our indoctrination has it that if we aren't happy, that it's the world's fault, or someone out there is surely to blame. That keeps us out of the present, where joy is. Only the wholeness creates. Remember, if we're excluding other beings from the oneness of God by our blaming and condemnation, we're only darkening our own minds. Luckily, the Holy Spirit holds the door to the light open so that we can locate this present moment. And we let go of blaming others today and join Christ in holding the door open.
Yeah.
Right? Thanks. I'm Glen Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher, and I'm glad you're here. This is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda. Tell them what we're going to listen to.
Well, let's see. I actually forgot what song we're gonna do. Oh yeah! So this is from one of my shows called Reverend Yolanda's Old Time Gospel Hour, and it's a gospel medley. I just thought it'd be fun to revisit these old songs with new lyrics that I've updated them with. So here we go. Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do remember me. Do Lord, do remember me. Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do remember me. Way beyond the blue.
in glory land that outshines the sun. I got a home in glory land inside that outshines the sun. I got a home in glory land that outshines the sun. Way beyond the blue. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that causes me to see that I just forgot. But now I found it's grace that sets me free. When we've been free 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Just as I am, wondrously living as thou created me, and now I know that I am free, O Lamb of God, I come, I come, just as I taste of some old-fashioned songs there. And thank you so much, y'all, for joining us. And we
Pleasure.
love you. We love you. Thank you. Bye.